G'day everyone, thank you for joining me for this episode of Build with Every Exotic. Today's exotic is Mask of the Quiet One, which grants ability energy when you damaged. When critically wounded, regain max health on kills. Now we'll be using this with Stasis to grant that almost instant ability uptime, as well as a little bit more survivability for Stasis. Now jumping straight into the subclass. For abilities, I like to use Towering Wall. Again, you can choose between either one. Strafe Lift, again, any lift you like works perfect. Shiver Strike, as that is the only melee ability, and Glacial Grenades as a good way of generating a quick amount of stasis crystals. Now for the aspects. Both of these aspects, Howl of the Storm and Tectonic Harvest, are used to create stasis crystals to gather in Tectonic Harvest, which will, with the fragments, work to grant you overshields, health regen, as well as melee energy, which works with the helmet for quick uptime of your abilities. Now, speaking of the fragments, the first one we'll be using will be Whisper of Conduction. Nearby stasis shards track to your position. This helps you so you don't have to chase after them. They'll be coming straight to your position. As well as Whisper of Rhyme, which stasis shards grant a small amount of overshield. This helps with the survivability that I mentioned before. Stasis has always had a problem with survivability. This helps greatly. With that, Whisper of Rendering, primary weapons do increase damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. Now, we'll be using the stasis crystals to immediately shatter and get the shards so we can gain our overshields as well as our melee energy. Then for the grenade, Whisper of Shards, which helps regenerate your grenade energy after shattering a stasis crystal. So, again, we'll have ability uptime with our melee from the shards, and then by shattering crystals, we'll be getting grenade energy. This works with the helmet, as when you're taking damage, you're also regenerating your abilities. Lastly, your super. The only super Titan has for stasis, Glacial Quake. This is a massive damage output super. I'm actually quite surprised with how this does for damage, so of course we'll be running that. Of course, next we'll get into the armor mods. Now, I've actually had a fair bit of trouble choosing the armor mods for this build because your abilities are pretty much back straight away. I wasn't too sure what to run except for charge with lights and being able to do more damage with your weapons. So that's exactly what I did almost. Starting the thermodynamic siphon, that was almost hard to say. Rapid solar final blows create an orb, as well as rapid stasis final blows will create orbs. That will be one method of getting orb creation. Also, hands-on super energy when doing damage with melee. I am not entirely sure if this impact induction and momentum transfer work with your stasis uppercut because of, you're kind of using the crystals. I know if you shatter them, that counts as shatter damage, but I'm not sure if you're hitting them with the crystal itself, if these abilities all work with it. For the helmet again, heavy ammo finder, and then onto the arms, momentum transfer, impact induction, and a stasis loader for my stasis hand cannon, just so I can get, more shots in more frequently. Chest piece. Charged up is the only one we need. The other two are just resistant mods. You can run whatever you like. The boots, solar weapon surges. I stacked two of these with an elemental charge. Now, with the amount of stasis shards we'll be making, this is just perfect for more regen. The mark, powerful attractions, Reaper, and Bomber. For the armor, that's pretty much it. Onto the weapons. Now, as I was saying before, I use a stasis hand cannon. I use Isoluna just here because it has Headstone, which creates more stasis crystals, more shards, as well as grenade regen, which is the main thing that we're needing in this build. Now for the big damage dealers, Cartesian Coordinate with a Vorpal weapon mod. Now, I think this is one of the best fusion rifles for boss DPS, especially if there's a tractor cannon or any type of weaknesses involved, because this is, a very long season. You'll have that dealing solar ability damage will, grant weakness on targets. If you're running with a fire team, that will certainly help with this. As well as Dragon's Breath. I like to hot swap these exotics, so fire off a Dragon's Breath, get off a magazine of Cartesian, and then swap back, fire off a rocket, keep going until, the enemy's dead. Huge amounts of damage you can deal. Now that we've gone over everything of what to run, I'll take us into a activity and show you how to use it and the potential of this build. Alright, here I am in the coil. I'll do a quick example of just how to use the abilities and how you'll be getting charged with light and what everything's for. So, to start the cycle, I like to use the uppercut, shatter as many crystals as possible, straight after the uppercut, the grenade. Now, as you can see, each time I'm picking up one of those shards, I'm getting a piece of melee energy back. That there is pretty much how I'll be getting my melee back. Just like that, I've got it. Ooh, that guy does a fair bit of damage, turns out. So I've got my melee and grenade back pretty much straight away. The cycle is very much uppercut, destroy the crystals, grenade, destroy the crystals, and repeat. Now, you do got to make sure that you are just slightly close enough to where you're throwing them, so you can get your shards tracked towards you. Because as you see, they don't track on from very big distances.
You'll need soul divisive signatures to pick those locks.
And I've got all my abilities back again. As long as you keep doing this cycle, you'll be getting your abilities, you'll be getting your armor charges. Ooh, the chicken's coming for me. Which will allow you to use your, well, increased damage for solar weapons. That means more damage output for bosses. And, well, yeah. As well as the shards giving a fair bit of health back each time you pick one up. Alright, now that the boss is up, I will show you the damage cycle. So, as you can see, I currently don't have any charge with light. So, I'll throw these down. Get the shards. And that there will give me some armor charges. Still a bit old-fashioned with that. Then, for the boss, as long as I don't blow myself up, there you go. Hit him with one shot of Dragon's Breath, and then come in with the super. Now, with this super, you kind of want to stand back a little bit so you can get the shards directly on him. Well, just like that, he's dead. But after the cycle of your super and that one shot of Dragon's Breath, I would very much recommend to fire another shot of Dragon's Breath, cycle back to your fusion rifle, which for me I'm using the Cartesian coordinate. So I would fire the rocket, go back to the Cartesian, and then fire off the magazine. By the time the magazine is off, I will be able to, like, well, maybe not the entire magazine, swap back to this. If it was dealing damage to the boss, it would have automatically reloaded and fire another shot. That's pretty much the build and how you use it. I'll give you a bit more of a better example in a dungeon, and then, well, yeah, that should be it. Oh, he's already got it up. I'm gonna hold it just in case someone explodes. Look at the radar to see where they are, by the way. I only just thought of it that much.
That's cheating.
Oh, okay.
You dropped another one.
The first one has been acclaimed. Has been Hotel. Nope. We'll just run this out if you want the loot, and then we don't have to do any more. I only used one shot there, so if you ask me, that's pretty okay.
I reckon I did jack shit.
Oh, you
I
wiping?
wiped, by the way, yeah. I don't want to do it.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.